Okay, I had a bit of a nightmare yesterday.
It'd be really easy installed if everything was flat.
It's not that lined up at the moment, but we'll sit... Oh God, not like that.
So we're just taping up the bolts now, so when they go through, the thickened epoxy doesn't stick to these.
And Zach's using his teeth to cut the tape.
That's what teeth are meant for.
Not my teeth.
It's looking pretty damn good, I think. I'm very happy with this. It's been a strange adjustment, Becca not being here and Tay-Lee with me. Cracking through these jobs with her usual chatter. But she's still not in a great way in the UK with her knee injury, so it's probably best she isn't here climbing around the boat. You left me last week when I was attempting to reinstall the last pilot house window to finally stop the relentless leaks we had had since arriving in Mexico. But Sod's Law stated that I couldn't just put it back and all would be fine. Obviously something had to crop up.
Okay, I had a bit of a nightmare yesterday finishing off this window. It's not actually finished now because cleaned all the surfaces up, got it all prepped. I got a bit annoyed at what happened yesterday, so I kind of just stopped filming. But I've ordered what I need now, but I'll explain what happened. I got everything prepped, started caulking around it, had 2 other tubes lined up, went to go and use the 2 tubes of sealant, which I've got, and they were both rock solid, and no one in the yard had any of the UV Seeker Flex that I needed to reseal this window, and so I was a bit stuffed, so I had to wipe it all off as best I can. There's still quite a bit on there. Remove all of the threaded inserts, which are currently in here now, trying to get cleaned because they got Seeker Flex in them and I didn't want them to gunk up and be unusable when I came to do it again. So I've ordered some now and they're gonna arrive in hopefully 2 days. Just kind of half bolted this on for the meantime, so if it does start raining and splashing on the deck, it won't get too wet in here and the tarp is covering it. So I'm gonna have to leave that project for a couple of days now and I'll return to it. But more excitingly, I'm actually gonna start thinking about and kind of figuring out how it's gonna work. Something that we've wanted for absolutely ages, and I know we've mentioned in other videos before about getting one. We can't wait to get this installed. This is going to be a really big game changer for us, especially in terms of crossing oceans and bigger sails, especially when it's just me and Becca. This is going to take a lot off our minds because our current autopilot is shite, in a better way to put it. It's just not very reliable. It conks out occasionally, and we want something which is totally not related to the rest of the boat in terms of doesn't use any electricity. So if the worst happens and we get hit by lightning or something like that, we've still got an autopilot which will function absolutely fine. And if anything happens to our steering cables, rudder, anything along those lines, this can act as an emergency rudder, which is fantastic as well. Having that redundancy there is a big weight off all of our minds. But I'm sure everyone can kind of guess what we've got, but we've got, you can see it there, there we go. We've got a Hydrovane in here at the moment, which I unpacked the other day, which we're gonna start installing over the next few weeks. I don't think Becca's gonna be back before I start installing this, so it's gonna be pretty much up to me. I'm gonna be borrowing Parker for bits of this as well. If you guys haven't seen his YouTube channel as well, go and check that out. I'll leave a link below, but he's been super helpful with helping me with projects. But yeah, this is a big project to do, and through our research, we believe this is kind of the best on the market for just sailing in general. We've seen some people take these out in crazy conditions, and they look after the boat and they go down below and just trust the Hydrovane would do it. We could never do that of our autopilot at the moment. We've got to babysit it so much, so it'd be such a weight off our mind knowing that this can steer in pretty much anything it comes against. So yeah, I'm gonna pull the boat back now because the boat's a couple of meters away from the dock at the stern. I want to get it right up against the dock. I'll put a fender in between it in case the wind picks up at any point, but that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to start looking inside the transom, seeing if we need to reinforce any areas, and yeah, let's start this project.
It's probably a good point for me to explain what a Hydrovane is now for those who aren't familiar with it. Essentially, it's an entirely independent mechanical autopilot which steers the boat to a wind-based course. So our boat is powered by the wind and steered by the wind. Pretty cool. The vane, which is the red sail on top, drives its own rudder via a drive unit, meaning should we lose or damage our main rudder, we have a spare, which is without a doubt a huge selling point for us given that we are planning 2 large offshore passages next year.
before I can really look at anything, I need to take this old ladder off the back. We're going to replace it with something else. I'm not too sure what at the moment, but it's so rusted and horrible that we just kind of want to get it off. And then I'm going to start figuring out where things could go on the transom.
Before I begin the Hydrovane install, the replacement Skeg-Flex had turned up, so I could finally seal the big window in the saloon.
That looks pretty good to me now.
And sleep at night knowing the rain wouldn't find its way in.
Okay. I'm gonna kneel down here.
So I'm going to go with this one first, I think, up here. This is Bella. Hey Bella. Bella, sit. Sit. Good girl. Hey Bella. Good girl. You're so well behaved.
It's all go today. Just when I finished that job, I had a call saying another package had arrived.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. I'll explain exactly what is in this package, but basically, Total Boat, if you guys don't know what that is, I'll leave a link below. They do epoxy, fiberglass. In here we've got everything from our anti-foul for the season to all our cloth, to all of our resin, hardener, paints, everything. They've been absolute legends. And it's finally arrived. You have to go through a courier to get it down to Mexico, which is a bit of a pain, but it's all here, and I'll slowly start showing you what exactly is in here because there's some really cool stuff in here. But for now, I've got to get it all to the boat. I think it's the biggest package we've ever got. Okay. Right.
With the package fully moved onto Tay-Lee, it's time to plan the Hydrovane placement.
I've been figuring out today exactly how the Hydrovane is going to work. We're going to have it centre mounted, and the top bracket is going to be kind of just in front of in front and behind, I'll explain that in a minute how that works, our chain plate on our mizzen, and you'll get a better idea when I'm outside about what this is going to look like. But basically, this is the teak bit which is going to go on the top bracket, and so it's going to be mounted there, the bracket, and the shaft is going to be going down there like that. The issue is with this is that our backstay is there, so it can't, it's in the way basically. So we need to have a mounting system which had a big gap in it. So what I did is I ran into town with the marina manager who was super helpful. We went to a woodworking shop there and I got a shop to make me these, which are basically me spaces that will sit, oh God, not like that. That will sit in there like that. And then our backstay from mizzen is going to run through there, and it gives enough wiggle room for it to kind of move around a little bit, but not so much that the force isn't getting nicely transferred through all of these to the hull. So yeah, it's a pretty good day. I managed to get that done. I'm surprised that they actually had teak, which was very much the same colour as what we've got as well. So happy Zach.
One of the biggest take-homes from the Hydrovane manual is that precision is key. Every measurement, hole drilled and backing plate installed has to be spot on.
I haven't done something like this in years and years, but cut down the wood, chiseled out the middle bit, I'm just filing it down. I don't think it looks too bad. It's not perfect, but I don't think it's too bad. It's pretty even. I'm just sanding it off with a file just to get nice square edges and it's nice and flat, but not bad. I'm sure carpenters do a much better job than this, but I'm kind of happy with it. As you can see here, I've set up a nice little blanket underneath, so if I do drop anything, which I think I probably will at some point, but hopefully I don't, this should catch it. Should do. So yeah, that's why it's there, in case anyone's wondering. But what I'm going to do now is run a line, just this thin bit of paracord from our backstay here all the way down the boat, and then I'll tape it at the bottom, and I'm going to draw a line on it where it runs to show the center line of the boat, so I can line things up really nicely. On the Hydrovane booklet, it says that getting a 2-inch plastic bit of tubing and slotting it through the 2 brackets and then putting it on is the best way of visualizing how straight the shaft is going to be when you actually mount everything. So instead of trying to do it by the way we were going to do it, I'm going to find this 2-inch diameter bit of tube, if there's one in the yard, and give it a go like this. So fingers crossed I can find some. Right there. Yeah, maybe a little bit more around, other way. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep the wood on there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move this. Oh yeah, that looks perfect.
Oh, hello. That's pretty thick. I think that's all right.
And I'll put my finger on the hole. Go ahead. Okay, right there. Oh yeah, that's like 1/2 inch. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah, you think that's thick enough laid up? I mean, it does, like, if I give it a...
flexes, yeah, for sure, that flexes.
That's the thing, because there's going to be way more force in it than that.
Yeah.
I think I will lay up a few things on it, just a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Last thing I want is, on the way to Alaska, that to, like, fail catastrophically or something.
Go ahead.
And that should be enough. You should be able to move it still, though, just... Yeah, okay. Woo! That's exciting.
Yeah.
Looks really good
I
there.
think it looks really good.
I was worried that these were going to look too close to each other, but I think that'll actually be perfect there.
Yeah, I think so.
It's all quite... Because that whole transom area there is quite empty anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that other bracket is going to be about right here.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to drop in here and mention that we have now turned on our channel membership.
Beautiful.
For just a couple of squids a month, you can access fun symbols to use in comments, have priority commenting, and a little boat indicator of how many months you've been here. Plus the knowledge that your support helps us keep Tay-Lee on course, as we set off on arguably the biggest adventure yet this upcoming season. The link is down below, or just click join, which is next to subscribe on our main channel.
Right, so this is going to be slightly less than fun. I've got to reinforce the transom here now. I think there's a little bit too much flex in it. It's just on the edge of it being alright and not being alright. Parker thinks it would be fine. I'm a little bit on the edge about it, so just to nip it in the bud, I'm gonna grind back a area about that wide, and then we're gonna put 3 layers of fiberglass on it. I hate this kind of work. It's gotta be done though. Save us worrying about it later down the line. That chain plate's all loosened off. We're in the lazarette at the moment, and these are 2 holes that we drilled earlier, but this is the section here which I want to sand and put some more fiberglass on, because we've got 1 pad is going there, 1 backing plate, and then 1 backing plate is going a little bit lower here. But the issue is these are right in the middle of where it needs to go, so I'm going to take these 2 out. This one will be alright. I might just do a bit of fiberglass around here, but I'm not taking it off because it's underneath the teak rubbing straight, and I don't think it needs to go up there anyway, like up to there, and having like a massive backing plate of fiberglass should be good enough anyway, because most of the load will be around here. So I'm going to leave that one, and it should be absolutely fine, but it's just all of this area here, because it's a lot more unsupported. At least there, this area has got all the rubbing straight that's a lot thicker, so it's just from the rubbing straight, which is about here, and down that I want to do. I'm back on the top, and I've got the
template for our lazarette and all of the fiberglass here. So I'm going to cut out 3 of these loose templates and see if they fit and how well they fit, and then go from there.
I did all the fiberglass work yesterday. That's what she's looking like right now. It's 3 layers on there, so it should make a pretty decent difference to the whole structural integrity of the transom, but yeah, it's looking alright. I need to give it a sand obviously, but that would definitely help a lot with the loads this is going to have on it.
We're using this 2-inch PVC piping to kind of get an idea where everything's going to go. This bracket, we're happy with the placement now, but we're just trying to figure out how's best to mount this angle bracket. So it's got a 15-degree slope, and our transom's got a bit of a slope as well. So we're going to line it up like that, but we're trying to figure out how long this stainless steel tube here needs to be. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. And then once we've got that, we can get it cut. We've got some grace when we do cut this, so it doesn't need to be spot on, because in here it can go all the way to the end ideally, but we can clamp it a little bit further away to kind of give ourselves a bit of wiggle room. So
For the length.
For the length of it, yeah. So yeah, let's put this on here and see how this looks. I'm really nervous about dropping parts in here though. I don't know how deep it is here, but I would say that length isn't too far off now. It probably needs a little bit more, because obviously it's going to be raised like that.
Yeah, it looks like you might have to take,
Like a lot.
you know, you make this side thinner,
Yeah.
and have this side stay this thickness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make a wedge, you might have to make a wedge out of it. Too bad we don't have like a stationary belt sander or something like that. Or
I know, I don't know what, I'm going to have to take the angle grinder to it really, aren't I?
I don't know.
It'd be really easy installed if everything was flat. It would actually be so easy, because you would just have 2 of those brackets instead, and it would just be like gunk gunk. So I'm going to cut like that much off this.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the backing plate for the lower one, but we need to angle it quite a bit, and so me and Parker spent a while trying to figure this out, the best way of how to get this angle good. I don't have any amazing woodworking tools here, so what I'm going to do is smash down the first bit with this, and then I'm just going to get a block with some sandpaper on it and just plane away the rest of it until I'm matched up with this angle, because it's pretty much the angle that we want.
This is a good idea by Parker. It's getting it really nice and level. So I scribbled all over it, and these are the high areas still where the pencil marks are disappearing. It's getting everything down to a good plane. This is pretty much how it's going to look now, with the wooden backing plate down there. There we go.
It was at this point, after a chat with Hydrovane, that I realised I needed to move the entire vane about a foot to the port side. This was due to the brackets being too close together to give a good enough load distribution. I couldn't move the upper bracket up anymore, as it would then be covering the turnbuckle, which needs to be adjusted and inspected. Therefore, I would need to do all the measurements, hole drilling, reinforcement, hole filling, and bracket mounting all over again. It was a little frustrating having to go through it all twice, but I'm not going to make you also re-watch the entire process again. However, if you want to cheer me up, consider hitting subscribe and turning on that notification bell. Cheers.
To make sure the alley backing pads are flush on the inside of the hull, Zach wrapped both backing pads and the bolts in packing tape. And then we'll tighten it down, make some really thick epoxy and put it between the backing pads and the transom to ensure it's perfectly flat. Once it's cured, he will then pop the pad off, sand it and then reinstall it permanently. Genius.
So we're just taping up the bolts now, so when they go through, the thickened epoxy doesn't stick to these, and when we slip them back out, we can just chip off the epoxy and then unpeel all the tape.
And Zach's using his teeth to cut the tape.
That's what teeth are meant for.
Not my teeth.
No. Do you guys like cookies?
We do.
Yeah.
Allergic to anything? Because we got some coconut macaroons and peanut butter Rice Krispie treats just looking for a home.
Yeah, I'd love one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Did you guys make these?
Yeah.
Nice.
Fully kid made, so.
Wow.
What was that, Rice
With some
Krispies
milk,
too?
maybe some coffee.
Cool.
Wow.
It's not too badly burnt.
No, they look
Thank you so
delicious.
much.
Thank you. Project was going to come with free cookies.
Ready?
Yeah.
This is all mounted right here. Down here, I've got one backing plate on up there, and this other one down here, next to my foot, needs some filling in there. So I'm going to fill with thickened epoxy, and we've got all the tape on here. So tomorrow, when it's all set and dry, we can pop this all off. Just started raining, but that's what I've got. I'll show you properly in the morning because I don't want to get it too wet, but I'm pretty happy with that. It needs a bit of tidying up, but yeah, happy days. So this is what it's looking like. So I just need to peel this off here without damaging this. Yeah, nice. I've cleaned up all this area here with some sandpaper. I'm just gonna lay a sheet over this whole area now just to lock everything in. I'm gonna come in here and just tidy it up a little bit with some sandpaper now, make sure it's all flush and everything, but I'm pretty happy with how it all came out. Nice flat surface for it all to be mounted onto. And solid. There's like 7 layers of fiberglass here now, so this bottom one is rock solid. On the plus side to offsetting the whole Hydrovane was the fact that we can now get slightly better performance from it, as the rudder would be receiving more clean water to steer the boat from.
I wore my white shirt for the black sticker flag.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I think we can be relatively careful.
Mm-hmm. Try not to, yeah, there you go. Yep, because it'll push into that.
Yeah. Okay, you got it for that? Yeah. Right, I'll go in for this one.
First, can you hold the shaft down a little bit?
Yeah. Okay, the whole thing needs to be twisted still.
You're in, I got that with my palm now.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hold that just for a second?
Yeah.
Ready? Just get this off my fingers so I don't get it everywhere.
Now that that's all done, I'm going to put the old chain plates back on for the backstay for the mizzen because he's been off for ages, but I've given them a really good clean up and polish. Alright, now the shaft is on. I do need to go and tidy it up a little bit from where the seeker flex is pushed out, but I think that's best to go with a Stanley knife later when it's all dry instead of making it worse at the moment. The next thing to do is attach this pretty heavy lead counterweight to the drive unit. There's got 2 bolts through, so I'm going to do that now. I've got to take the cover off of the unit and a few other things, and then we're going to put it on top of the shaft, which is really exciting. We have to wait a couple of weeks and come back for this because we've got a new solar arch being shipped out, because obviously there's not much room here for the sail to go on at the moment, but once that comes and we install that, then we can put the sail on up here and this will all be done, and put the rudder on as well. But for now, I'm going to pretty much leave it like this. We've pretty much done the bulk of the work now, which is fantastic, and I'm really happy with how it's come out. Park has been an amazing help with me getting this all done, but yeah, it's looking pretty damn good, I think. I'm very happy with this.